They were told to stay seated. No one would call their name, no one would raise a hand. They would just have to wait and see who the dog chose. One by one, the dogs enter the room. Older dogs, slower steps, gray around the muzzle, eyes that have seen long years pass. Each one walks straight into the circle and stops in the exact center. And every single time, the room forgets how to breathe. 30 baby boomers sit quietly on folding chairs, hands resting on their laps, some trying not to hope, some pretending they don't care, some already fighting tears before anything even happens. Because at this stage of life, you don't always expect to be chosen anymore. You've done your part. You've raised families, built careers, carried responsibilities, shown up for everyone else. But rarely does something walk into a room, look around, and move toward you. The dog stands in the middle, still, unrushed, turning its head slowly from face to face. And in that pause, something shifts. Every person in that circle feels the same quiet question rise in their chest. Will it be me? The dog takes one step, then another, and 6 seconds suddenly feel like 60. It passes one chair, then another. Hope rises, then drops, then rises again, until it stops, right in front of someone who wasn't ready. And gently, without drama, without sound, it rests its aging head against trembling knees. That's when the walls fall. You see it in their eyes first, then in the trembling chin, then in the hands that can't quite steady themselves as they lower to warm fur. No one tells them to cry. No one tells them to feel anything. But they do. Because being chosen without asking, being seen without performing, being moved toward with certainty, that hits something deep. The soft clapping begins. Not applause, not spectacle, just quiet understanding. Because everyone in that circle knows exactly what just happened. And then another dog enters. Different breed, different shape, different energy, but the same ritual. Straight to the center. The pause, the scan, and the silence that grows heavier every time. Sometimes the dog sits in the middle. Sometimes it stands perfectly still. Sometimes it turns slowly, as if studying stories written in wrinkles and silver hair. And every person in that circle feels it again, the possibility that maybe, just maybe, this time someone will walk toward them. The dog begins to move, and the entire room leans forward without realizing it. It passes a retired teacher, a grandfather, a widow, a veteran, a woman who hasn't cried in front of anyone in decades, a man who didn't know he still could, and then it stops, leans forward, and presses its head gently against someone's knees. And once again, tears break through carefully built composure. Because for some of them, it's been years since something approached them with that kind of intention. No expectations, no history, no judgment, just presence. Old dogs choosing older people. There's something almost sacred about that. They move at the same pace. They understand quiet rooms. They don't rush connection. They don't demand performance. They simply offer it. Clip after clip, the pattern repeats. Enter, center, pause, choose, touch, emotion, clap. And yet it never feels repetitive because every choice carries a lifetime behind it. And as the minutes pass, the energy in the room changes. Postures soften, shoulders drop, eyes stay open longer. No one is pretending anymore. Because something simple keeps happening in that circle. Someone walks into the center of the room, looks around, and decides you matter. And when that aging head rests gently against aging knees, it feels like recognition, like time didn't erase you, like your story is still visible, like you are still worthy of being walked toward. By the final dog, the silence feels different, heavier, warmer. full. The last dog stands in the center longer than the rest, 30 faces watching, 30 stories waiting. And in that long pause, you can almost feel decades of memories hanging in the air. Then it moves, slowly, deliberately, across the circle, past expectation, past doubt, until it stops in front of someone who truly didn't believe it would happen.